Of course, parents, they always want the best for you.
The first fear, the first doubt that creeps in, what are my friends gonna say? What is my
Correct.
family gonna say? And all of
Correct.
that stuff.
Life is very flexible in a way that you can really mold it the way you want. I think nothing in life is not stressful. I think stress is there. But I think one is how you deal with that stress and if it's worth it.
But do you find it stressful, the whole culture and social media, particularly Reels? I mean, you're the original, you're the OG fashion influencer, actually, one of the very first. You did it before it
Blushing.
even became a thing. I
Right.
swear, right? But what was your life before you turned to yoga and wellness space? What did it feel like?
Wow. So I think like I've had like different lives in this one lifetime. So like my fashion journey again, like I feel like nothing was planned by me. There was something, higher planning for me because I studied architecture, and yeah, while I was studying architecture, fashion happened to me. But yeah, of course, like I feel like as a kid, I was always a fashion enthusiast. Like, if it's like one of my friend's birthday, I would like want to be like a birthday girl or dress up like a birthday girl,
Okay.
like I was always like just ready to dress up,
Yeah.
and I would play with a lot of like Barbies and Mycene dolls and like style them. So I think like that was already activated as a kid. And yeah, and I was also a big fan of like Miley Cyrus and like the way Hannah Montana,
Same.
yeah,
Yeah.
girl, my spirit animal. Yeah, so I think like all these things really shaped me as a kid, and like yeah, I think like that kind of made me like manifest my fashion life probably. At some point it was just like I felt like I was living the best of both worlds. I was going to like college with being so low-key and chill, and then I was also attending like fashion weeks, and I had to be in like good books of my teachers because like in architecture you don't like write an exam, you have juries, so it's like yeah, anything can happen like in these juries, so. And I think that was also like just the time when Instagram was like so new in India. And I was just like on apps. So when it was Facebook, I think like I'm just a very expressive person. So either I express it through fashion or, I used to love taking photos and also being, behind the camera. So, and I feel like architecture has really shaped me in so many ways because for me, the creative world is just one world. It's not like, fashion is different than architecture or even yoga for that matter. For me, like, I feel yoga is just so creative because I just love creating these shapes with my body. And just, I feel like, oh my God, it's just so beautiful.
And
It
you're
is
doing it
architecture
so
in the end.
beautifully. I think whatever
Oh,
you do, you bring in that vibe, you bring in that energy, and that perfection in a way.
wow. I
Yeah.
mean, oh, thank you. I mean, yeah, honestly, again, I don't know how that is happening. But I think, like, yeah, for me, it is a dance. And I have also been a Bharatanatyam dancer. So I think, like, everything is connected. Again, like, the creativity. I think, like, just being a big fan of, like, art, music, dance, and again just to see like the source of all these things are one. It's like it's yeah, that creative source is the same for everyone. It's just like expressing in like different ways, and I feel there's no end to it. It can just express in like any way. And yeah, even like not just like this world, but even when I think of like something like engineering or something, I think the source is still the same. It is creative, but if you have that, the whole playful creativity, I think you can just be creatively technical as well.
Yes, yes, beautifully said. I feel like a lot of people in their 20s, since we're talking about the creative life,
Yeah.
I admire how you have, like, taken all these bold steps. You were expressing yourself in so many ways, and you were not keeping yourself stuck, in one box. You're not
Yeah.
defining yourself in anything. And I just feel like a lot of people in their 20s, they waste so much of their life simply trying, like, seeking what suits them. They
Yeah.
spend all that time in confusion instead of actually acting on
Correct.
something. You spend
Correct.
years and years dwelling and thinking, what should I take on? What is my calling? So in search for that calling, and if you do all that calling within, like, you just, in your
No,
head,
yeah.
that is basically, that feels like a block of that energy,
Right, yeah.
So, but continuously, if you can keep searching and expressing yourself,
Yeah.
and keep reinventing yourself, because you never know what's going to come your way.
Correct. Exactly. I feel like one thing is, I think, being connected to your intuition. And other thing is like, it's not easy to go and just tell your parents, I want to do this, like, and they also invest so much of their time, effort, and everything, like, in creating a future for you, because that's how it is, in today's world. And I feel, of course, parents, they always want the best for you. And at the same time, it's like we all have our individual journeys to live. I feel like the world will say one thing, but your intuition will never lie. It will always get you close to your purpose. Even though you don't know what exactly your purpose is. But for example, if you're like thirsty right now, you just go and drink water, right? Like, and if people question, why are you drinking water? You should drink this. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like, you know
Exactly.
your body, you know what you felt. So I think it's the same thing to listen to your intuition. And I still remember the first time I was asking my dad, like, to just get me an iPhone 4. It was, during college days. And that time, I mean, iPhone was also like a big deal,
It was.
Yeah. So it's like, and that time, of course, like, I'm not earning, I'm living in a budget, I'm student. And yeah, like, he was like, okay, why do you want it? I would like, I had a Nokia phone which couldn't download Instagram. And I would
Yeah,
take
these were the
his
times, kids. You could only have Instagram on an iPhone. Like, if somebody
iPhone,
doesn't
yeah, or
remember it.
Samsung. I think the
No, but
Android
original
or
first, it was only
yeah,
iPhone. I remember
iPhone,
when they
correct.
only launched it, they wanted to make it exclusive
Yeah.
only for their
But
iOS
I think India was a
holders.
little late. I think India came, yeah, like after that, Instagram was introduced. I remember my friend who was in London introduced me to Instagram and Snapchat, but it was just still like so. I'm like, what is this? Yeah, it's interesting, but we still don't have it. So yeah, I really begged him, like, please, please, please. I would take his Samsung phone and like upload things on Instagram. But yeah, like, he was just like, that is that one thing I really asked him for. And I'm still so grateful that he made it available for me, because my life changed. And of course, like, I was doing my college work, but at the same time, it was just the intuition, the creativity. I just wanted it to flow, like. But at the same time, I was also like responsible. I was also like, caring about my parents investing so much of their time, effort, and money, energy, like, for me. So I didn't want to like upset them. So I would also be not the best, but at least good at what I've signed up for, and take that like in a way that I would give my best. Best at least. So yeah, I think like that is what I feel is something that I think we all should tune into, your guidance, your inner guidance, because that never lies. But again, like, once it gives you a direction, you really have to give your 100%.
Yes.
Because it's not like, oh, you have decided whatever this has come. But I think like whatever work you get, it can be anything, just like whatever, like, you just have to maybe, do some gift wrapping or whatever. It could be just something as simple as that. But I think it's just about being so present with it. And then one thing leads to another, and practice.
Yes, yes. And to have that courage to
Yeah.
start, have that courage to show up,
Correct.
have that courage to be disliked also.
Yeah.
I love that book, by the way. I don't know if you read it. It's
But it
amazing.
just sounds like
actually,
a
yeah.
yoga journey, to be honest. Yeah.
Because I think the doubts that always creep in, because let's say somebody wants to start something, somebody wants
Yeah.
to also maybe get into Instagram, maybe start a company or become an influencer, whatever that is. The first fear, the first doubt that creeps in, what are my friends gonna say, what is my
Correct.
family gonna say, and all of
Correct.
that stuff. And what if somebody's not gonna like what I'm doing, what if I'm gonna receive hate, or
Yeah.
there are cases like that,
Yeah.
right? So, but I think in
Yeah.
order to start, you need to just take that idea as in, yeah, it is possible that I won't
Yeah.
be liked.
Yeah.
But I'm not there to be liked by everyone. I am
Exactly.
here to deliver my truth, to
Yeah.
express myself in a way
Yeah.
that feels authentic to me, and to make that change happen.
Yeah, I completely understand that. And it's like, liking and disliking or hate is just a part of it. It's actually, you are independent of that. Like, like it doesn't need to be, you are not supposed to attach through that liking or disliking.
Exactly.
You are here to just express whatever is coming from you from within, because that is making you feel, I don't know, orgasmic, or like you just feel like, okay, wow. And also at the same time, it's coming from somewhere else. It's not like you have actually planned to do this. Why are we also doing all these things? And even like now when I'm like hosting retreats, workshops, I don't think it as, I want to do it. I feel like we all have somehow manifested this together. Like whoever comes to the retreat or workshop, I'm like, somehow, somewhere down the line, like someone has also asked for it, and it's also happening through me. I'm just a channel and a medium. So I think like when it comes to expressing, it needs to like flow freely. And I feel like one thing needs to another. Like it's like, of course there's like and disliking, but don't be attached to it. That's just happening. But I think till like when you really trust your work, or yeah, like the creative energy,
Trust
it's
the work and trust yourself.
self, exactly. It's just like you are still, I feel very content with expressing yourself in your way. And
Yes, and I think once you gain that momentum and you receive that energy also back, and you start
yeah,
seeing that, wow, this was actually meant to be,
correct.
and so many people are, you feel that support, you feel that you're actually putting something out there that
Correct.
makes a difference also, not just for yourself, but for others.
For
That's a
sure.
huge boost of energy, I think.
Yeah, and I feel like even as I said, it's this, it's not about, everyone is not going to be a part of your journey. It's about that niche. It's about like, for example, like we all like are, if I'm with someone, like we have that one partner. I'm not connecting with other men like the way I connect with Auntie, because it's so sacred, it's so special for us. And I feel like we all have these souls who are going to be a part of our journey, but only if we allow to express ourselves. Then, like there's someone else who's also expressing, and then you resonate with that energy. And then that is what is beautiful. And I feel even for me, like this whole Instagram journey has been not about like the likes, you know, but it's just about like meeting some amazing, creative, like-minded people and beautiful people. And I think I really thank that platform for that, so which allowed me to express. And on the other side of the world, probably someone was receiving it, and at the same time, it's a give and take. I was receiving through so many other people. So I feel it's that exchange is what I feel like is. It's like you're doing it, but you are doing it to for that exchange. You're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it, yeah, like
It's so beautiful. But I
yeah.
think
Art
also
is,
why you're so successful in what you've been doing is because of this mindset.
yeah,
Because you focused more on expressing yourself. It's not about likes or dislikes for you. You're just
yeah,
authentically self. And authenticity, I think it resonates the highest.
highest, yeah, true. I mean, yeah, it's been. I wouldn't say that it's just like I've just arrived to this point. Just thinking that, oh, it's a journey. I feel like you always start with the attachment of likes and dislikes, and then like once you start detaching, that is when you start living. Then that is when you are doing yoga.
Nice.
you know
Yes.
yeah.
Speaking of yoga, like I've been doing yoga since I think 2020.
Me too.
2019, you too.
Yeah,
The COVID
thanks
did
to
it to
corona.
us.
Yeah, I feel like there was duality even in like corona.
Yeah.
Something so intense happened, but I think like we all even got that break from our like everyday life or living, where it was just like running, but we didn't know what we were running behind.
Yeah.
And I think that break, at least for me, it was like it allowed me to like look within, to see like, okay, there's so much depth inside, so try to. So I was just like, yeah, a student and learning. But yeah, sorry to cut you.
No, no, no. I
Yeah.
mean, actually, we were just sharing actually the exact same thought, that
Yeah.
the yoga, when I also started around the COVID time, actually a little before that, but I went deeper during the COVID time. And for me personally, I felt that yoga was a space where I saw a different version of myself to begin with, physically first. Honestly, not
Of
even
course.
spiritual, but physically first. Because I always thought that I'm not flexible, I'm just not into, any physical form of activity. And I didn't know that that side of me actually exists, And then I've started yoga and I was amazed with what my body is actually capable of,
I
So
feel
that was like
you.
the first wow.
Yeah,
Then I
correct.
went deeper also into this practice. I did a course with Yoga Institute. That's where I've learned more, about the theory of it, and more spiritual aspect of it. But yeah, what I feel about yoga is that, like how you rightly said, that it was the first time when you could actually stop and look within yourself.
Correct.
I feel like for a lot of people, why they don't really stick to yoga practice, because it does feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, of
Yoga
course.
is not exactly meant to feel comfortable,
Yeah, for
especially
sure.
in the beginning, because it takes guts. Honestly, it takes
Yeah.
that commitment to stop for a moment. And whenever, like when you're performing even asanas, you're just practicing yoga, it's not that it's uncomfortable physically,
Correct.
but even mentally
But
you
it
are
is also
just
uncomfortable
uncomfortable
physically.
physically. Yes.
Like you want to cry.
Exactly. Yeah,
But
so
yeah,
both physically and even mentally,
for
because you're, for a
sure.
moment, you just stop. There is no noise. There is no, there's like, the, you're just faced, with your inner voice,
Yeah.
and you're facing yourself. And that
Self.
feels uncomfortable sometimes. But once you pass through that moment,
Yeah.
it's hard to go back.
True. Yeah. I feel yoga is definitely like magic. Like at least I'm just talking about my own experience. And honestly, I feel the same, like how you spoke about, physically the body was changing. I also felt like, so my mom is also a yoga teacher. And yeah, I used to go to her class. And yeah, back then, that's the thing. I feel like since yoga was around me as a kid, my aunt is a yoga teacher and whatever, has been a very dedicated yoga practitioner. So I've also always been introduced. And of course, like I would do like small things like Padmasana or meditation. And even my dad has another whatever spiritual side. So I've gotten a lot of tools like through him as well. So I think I was always exposed to this world. But I think also because when it's in the house, when it's in your home, you take it for granted. Or maybe I also would like to say that, or maybe it was just like not your time yet. I feel like it also comes to you at the right time, when probably you would value it. And I think to even value it, you need to see a different world before. So I think like only when I mean, for example, if you've been through sadness, only then you will really value and appreciate a smile. You will really be like, okay, wow, like, this is special. Like, this is, yeah, like you will really try to protect it then, So I think, uh, yeah, like when I discovered it, I think that's exactly what I started to feel. And I discovered it through my partner, Antti. So he's from Norway and we met in Bali. And yeah, like when we met, he was practicing yoga, and literally, I was like intrigued. I was like, it comes from India, it's been around me. Why am I not doing it? What is it? Why is he doing it? Like that, just that curiosity. I was like, cool, let me just, yeah, um, try it. And of course, I was also very curious to know how people are standing on their heads just like that. I'm like,
Can I do it?
yeah,
Can
can
I
I
do
do it?
it?
Like, is that really possible? I mean, in the human whatever, it just feels a little like unrealistic. So, of course, then I got into it. But yeah, like the first thing was the physical thing. And yeah, I was also very dedicated. I think, like, when you set your mind towards something, and I think yoga also makes me believe that everything in this life, like, life is very flexible. Life is very flexible in a way that you can really mold it the way you want. You don't have to be any particular whatever thing, or you don't have to have any particular career, and nothing in life is supposed to be particular. It is very flexible, but at the same time it also like shows me the beauty of growth in a way that if you start learning anything today, but if you give your energy to that, you will excel it. So anything, you can learn anything, but you have to be just dedicated to that practice. If it's cooking, if it's whatever, and that's what I see. I think I just see that in so many different ways. And I try to connect it through, my childhood. And, I've been a Bharatanatyam dancer since I was, I think, in my junior KG, and, 10 years of my life I did it. But it was like, I was a kid, my mom put me to the class, so I didn't know what it meant, or, or I was always connected to Indian classical music, but it was just around me. So I didn't see the beauty in it as such. I was like, okay, cool, this is a part of my life. But now when I'm growing up, I'm like, oh my God, wow. Indian classical, I mean, I was just exposed to that, at that time, and I see now that because of Bharatanatyam and Indian classical music and whatever, I feel even in yoga, for example, if you squat or malasana is so much grounding. Bharatanatyam, you're squatting the whole time, you're doing these mudras, So I've always felt that grounded energy, around me. I didn't know that before. Now I'm just gaining awareness, I think, through yoga and all these things. And I'm like, it was always there. That was yoga, So I just feel like, yeah, the way, even yoga, I never thought that was something that, possible for me to do it. But I think anything, you can just be anything and do anything in life.
Beautiful. Yes, you can I definitely agree with this.
Yeah.
You can be anything, you can try anything. And I feel if there is some interest within your field,
Yeah.
there is a reason why you looked at that.
Exactly.
There is a reason why that aspiration came,
Exactly.
And then if you put that focus,
Focus.
that energy,
True.
you could really excel in that, like you said.
True. Yeah, exactly. Then yoga came, and I was just dedicated, and through that I attracted Yama Yoga. And it opened doors for me in so many different ways. I feel like there was architecture that opened doors for me. I saw life in, I traveled, and I just started seeing things in geometry, structures and patterns. And when fashion happened to me, what was interesting was I would travel, but how my style would change through traveling. Every place has a vibe, and I was adapting to that place, to that style, and I think that gave me that, again, you're flexible. Even fashion, it's you can just be whatever you want to be. Today you're feeling this, today you're feeling very feminine, tomorrow you're feeling some power, So I think yeah, that's what even I love fashion, with creativity. So I think it's just something that I feel like it gave me a validation, yoga gave me a validation that anything and everything is possible if you are looking into it and if you are giving your 100%. So you would just be dedicated and then just surrender to however it wants to flow.
Wow, isn't it beautiful to see someone speak so passionately, about something?
Yeah, but I am really passionate about it.
Yeah.
It's just that when I get passionate about something, I don't want anyone to see it in any different way. At least the people that I love, I'm
you
please
give your
love it.
100% to everything you do.
Exactly. So I think the body changed, and then the mind changed, and then the lifestyle started to change, and I think change is something that, I love change. I love to see, okay, what next,
Continuous transformation.
Correct.
There. Beautiful. So how did Yama Yoga happen?
Yeah, I think it is maybe something I also attracted it because I had, when I was doing fashion and all of that. And at some point of your blogger life or influencer life, there's a thing that, oh, maybe I can create a brand now, So of course I've worked with some brands before, but more in fashion lines. And, I've been just curating a collection for them and all of that. But I always had a feeling, and this was also before my fitness yoga journey started, I was always attracted to a fitness lifestyle. And I think being in front of the camera always made me take care of my body because I just wanted to look confident. And I feel like if I feel confident within me, I'll just look confident. It was not even the physical thing, but it's I feel like any fitness or dance or anything, using that energy starts making you feel very confident.
This is so beautiful what you've said because, I talk to a lot of women and they ask me, how do I become more fit? How do I become more beautiful in a way? How do I improve myself? How do I become the best version of myself?
Correct.
And you beautifully said that I feel the first step is start seeing yourself.
Correct.
You know, what motivated you that you're always in front of the camera?
Right. Yes.
Even if your job is not in front of the camera, you
Yes.
gotta start seeing yourself.
Correct.
You're not supposed to be looking from day to night, you know, at influencers and whoever you're at. I mean, that's also great and all that, but start seeing yourself, not them.
Them. Correct.
And once you start seeing yourself, you would wanna improve yourself. You would
True.
wanna grow in some way or the other. Then you start moving more, you start eating better. No, that's where this real self-care, I think, happens when you start seeing yourself.
True, yeah, exactly. And I feel like, yeah, like I would travel to all these island places and I would be really inspired by, because I think like living in Mumbai, I didn't see that a lot around me, you know, just fit people and, you know, like people are really into about it. It wasn't a part of my growing up. It was, I think like just eating all different foods, which is amazing. I'm a foodie. So it's like I just enjoyed that. But this other side, there was not like much inspiration for me. Of course, there was yoga and these things as well, you know, but there was no like punch, you know, like that passionate, yeah, like healthy lifestyle wasn't around me. But when I saw that while I was traveling, I was inspired. So that was always something like my vision board, but I also didn't know where to start from, you know. But yeah, like, but at the same time, when I was young, I would always, yeah, one is like, I would do like my bit. Like that time dancing, I would just close the door of my room and 1 hour I would just dance. Of course, there was Shakira, there were like, you know, all these things. Yeah, Shakira also, another spirit animal. Shakti vibes.
Nice.
I love her. Yeah, so it was just like, I would just dance and, you know, like, but dancing was also, I also had a certification for Zumba at some point, you know, because I was just so interested in like dancing and, you know, combining that into fitness and all these things. But yeah, like I feel like I was just doing something very intuitively, but it was like an intention to do it, you know, and that would make me feel so good. And yeah, and I would also at the same time look at myself, but also I feel like also accepting yourself where you're at is so important in a way that whatever you have in your mind is always future. But the thing is, there is no future. There is no tomorrow. It is there in your mind, but in reality, in the present, you only have this, you know, I mean, it's a normal thing. I feel like we must have thought so many things in life that never happened.
Yes.
It was just a thought, you know, but it never transitioned into something. But I feel like when you really accept yourself, and I feel like always think of yourself as your best version. When you think, and like I always used to say that even before, like better your best. You know, so just keep working on your version because there's always transformation happening, you know.
And I think that's where the growth actually happens. When you start seeing yourself, when you accept yourself.
Correct.
And just be the best version of yourself. Like
Yeah.
that's where I feel it has to start.
Yeah, and then you're dancing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's been like my motto. So even when I used to have a blog, so I used to have a blog, like a website called The Style Edge.
Oh.
And so I would write blogs, and I also had a category called Life.
I miss that era, you know. I miss that era whenever, like, when you can have a blog. Because of course, you can still have, you know, but
Correct, but it has
people's
changed.
Attention span, they want this, you know.
Yeah, they want like a
quick
20-second
videos.
reel.
Exactly.
Which is also great. But yeah, I feel like, yeah, this format is changing and we also need to evolve. And I found it very challenging, especially after Corona, to get back into, you know, the influencer life because so much
You're doing
changed.
it so beautifully.
I think it was not like slow. Like, of course, so a lot of things changed, but I couldn't keep up with the whole reel culture and, you know, like because I was always into photos. Like my, you know, strong point was stills. And then suddenly that transition from stills to videos, like though I started my journey on YouTube, I did like 1 year YouTube. I had a YouTube channel with a production house, But that's when I already realized that I want a blog. I want to create like a beautiful, whatever, you know, this, you know, compositions and website. I mean, everything has that style. But I think stills were more like my thing. But that transition, it was like, yeah, it took me a while to actually be open to start creating these reels, you know. But yeah, I think like it's just important to also adapt to whatever's happening right now, because I think that's like the need of the hour. And I think that also has a lot of things to teach you. So I feel you gain new skill sets. So yeah, it took me a while, but I think, yeah, now I think I'm getting on it.
Do you find it stressful, the whole culture in social media, particularly Reels? The
I
editing, the posting, that whole pressure, the...
I don't think it's stressful if you enjoy it.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel
Good.
like it's stressful if, yeah, like like I feel everything is also stressful. I think nothing in life is not stressful. I think stress is there, but I think one is how you deal with that stress and if it's worth it, and how you balance it. So I
Beautiful.
feel, yeah, like, uh, yeah, and my dad, he comes from a restaurant, like he's a hotelier. So I have just started working with him as well. So like that whole restaurant business, oh my God, the
Oh, it prepped
stress.
you.
Yeah, the active energy there, because it's like you can't sit and think even for 5 minutes. Everything has to
You
happen
always
now.
have to manage a crisis. There's always a crisis situation that
That
needs.
10 people waiting for your order. And you're just like, and there's so much happening. So that also like made me, I mean, the thing is, but that's the thing, when that whole, I think stress is just like, there is just some energy just telling you ki, okay, get this done, or like it's just a moving energy. So it's just like how are you taking that and how are you flowing through it. So yeah, I think like instead of thinking too much, just get things done. And I've also been like someone who, I think even when I was doing architecture and then this whole fashion thing started, and of course architecture was also like hectic in its own way. So in architecture school also, like everyone has this, nighters, you don't sleep, you have like sleepless nights. But I feel that is something that needs to change. Like back then I thought that, oh, like this is, we stay up for nights and all of that. And now after being on this other side of life and waking up in the morning, sleeping at 10 p.m. or whatever, I'm like, what was I doing? Why was I doing that to my body? I just, yeah, like I feel like now I feel more in sync with nature and the birds. Like they wake up in the morning, I'm listening to them, and I'm like, back then I didn't have that at all. Like they are actually the natural alarms that they are waking you up. They are here for a reason. They are not like, you won't see any bird just like wake up at night and going to eat, or they want food. They have stopped eating when it's like sunset probably. So I think, yeah, that is that. But when I see, I think that is something like, if I, yeah,
Yeah,
architecture
natural.
students now, yeah, I'm like, yeah, try to finish your assignments during the daytime. I think it's just, I just feel like it's just healthy for your body. So yeah, that is something that I have also learned, again, seeing that world, to understand, okay, to appreciate this lifestyle is something that I feel like God wanted to show me, both. And I don't know what I was saying with, yeah, I
Okay,
think I've
okay,
lost.
good. I'm loving this conversation. It
Which
feels
is like,
just flows like everything in your life. I think it just flows. Yeah. So coming back to Yama Yoga, how
Yama
did it
Yoga.
come to your life? And I think it's so beautiful the way it allowed you to combine fashion, your
Yeah,
passion for fashion,
yeah,
and wellness.
correct.
So tell me more.
So again, yeah, Yama Yoga also, I'm very grateful for Yama Yoga and Sushant, who is my partner in Yama Yoga. So he is from Punjab, and of course he has his own clothing like factory where he produces the Yama fabric. Of course, I'm wearing Yama. But yeah, I think what he, like the fabric that he discovered. So he's into like sustainability and um, coming from that world of import, export, and all these things. I think for him, he started to look for something deeper for his own life. And that's when he started to discover, started traveling the world to just see how people are like, exploring sustainable clothing, and how I can get that in India, or how I can produce it in India. And I think like, yeah, of course he also is a fitness person himself. So I think like he had this whole vision of Yama Yoga, and he's traveled the world. So he was also seeing how yoga is, getting of course like popular, but at the same time it's also something that is also uh, already here in India. And but at the same time, like the things that we wear, again, like to just give a context, Yama means right living. So when in Ashtanga, you have all the 8 limbs, and again, all these things. I wasn't the creator of Yama Yoga in as a brand, So I feel it also came to me when I like if like back like 5 years before, someone would tell me Yama Yoga, I would not like understand what is Yama, what is all these things. It would just be a name. But I just started to understand his intention and why he created Yama Yoga. And I think I could just resonate with it so much that, like, after yoga, like, my life also started again. Like, it's not just what happens on the mat. Like, before the asana practice comes Yama and then Niyama and then the asana, then, all the other limbs. So my life started to change, like, my diet changed and what I was eating changed, what I was wearing changed, because it's about like right living. It's about like what you give to the society and what you give to yourself. It's about, yeah, even ahimsa and, non-violence. And it's like, are you like, even with your thoughts, you can just hurt yourself. It's not even about others. Like, one is like, once you start doing that, once you start being so nice to yourself, I think you're just automatically going to be nice to others. It just comes very naturally. But it's all about first about like loving yourself. And when you start doing these things, automatically, I think like I was developing this immense love for Mother Nature. And I think like that made me realize a lot of things around me and my lifestyle, and become more like just Odi. And I think yoga really allowed me to connect with my divine feminine, and I call her like Shakti vibes. And it was always there, but I think like she was like chilling. She was always there. Like, for me, I feel it. But I think that whole, of course, the vinyasa practice also, it just gave me another inner strength and flow, and I just relate or resonate that to this. Again, she's like creative and but she's strong, but at the same time she's also like, she's a mother. So like there is so much like love and compassion for yourself and like others. So I think like when I started feeling a lot of like earth energy, and I think I started attracting it, and I think that's how I attracted Yama. And it was our first retreat, and yeah, we had like some potential, like brand partners for the retreat. And like, yeah, Yama Yoga approached me. And at that time, they were also like just new in the market. And I just asked him, I have a few things in my mind. Are you like open to create that for me? And he was just ready. I think like he was also looking for a potential,
Yes.
like, yeah, it's just like yin and yang,
No, you guys
with
are a
us.
perfect
It's
fit.
just perfect. And when I touch the fabric, I'm like, I want to live in this. So like the whole idea with Yama Yoga, it's not like, of course I make like these pieces which you can practice with, but the whole idea is that you can just live in them the whole
Day-to-day
day.
life.
You can allow your body to breathe in them the whole day,
Yes.
because for me it's like I can't wear things which doesn't allow my body to breathe anymore. So I think like that is something that has changed, and I think that is something that I just want to make it available for everyone, because I'm a fashion girl. So I love to dress up, but I also love to be very comfortable. So it's like, yeah, just adding some jewelry or whatever, transitioning like from yoga to everyday, and just like, really feeling yourself through wearing something is, yeah, the intent.
And Santoshi, thanks to you, I got introduced to Yama. I think this is actually how we've met, which
Listen,
was like amazing.
I feel, as I said, like, it's not thanks to me. I'm just a medium. But as I said, that we all have manifested this.
Exactly.
I feel like
we were in that same field, and probably I was looking for something
same
like that.
path. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So I mean, Yama is something very unique.
Correct.
And like not a paid review
Yeah,
or
not a
anything
paid,
like
yeah,
that.
but
it
it
is
is,
actually
yeah.
so unique. Like even the top that I'm wearing under my shirt
Yeah,
is
I saw
Yama.
that.
Yeah, and I just wear it like day to day, like it is like it's been intended actually, because
Yeah.
and even in regards to yoga wear, I've
Correct.
tried a lot of sustainable brands, okay, but most of them feel very stiff, and a lot of them, okay, they use recycled plastic,
Correct.
but it's still plastic. I'm sorry, it
Yeah.
just it doesn't
Feels
feel
different
good.
on
Your
the
skin
body.
doesn't breathe.
Yeah.
And when I tried Yama, okay, I was like, wow, this is something different. This is
Correct.
something that I can actually wear. Like it's very soft, but at the same time, it like snuggles you in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like I feel so.
And it works with the weather. Like, I
Exactly.
feel like my roots are from Mangalore in Karnataka. So I'm a South Indian. And over there, like, we sweat a lot. But it's because it's so hot. out there. And the sweat is the only way for you to cool down, because the sweat is water in the end. And because of that, you start feeling cool, you know. So like I feel like I connect to my roots a lot, you know, in a way where I've come from, and you know why I like this weather or whatever. Because I think like maybe because my roots are there, and like my body adapts to that weather in a different way, you know. So like yeah, with the cold, I'm still like, you know, I'm like, oh, I'm so scared to deal with this. And yeah, like so when my body doesn't sweat, I start feeling uncomfortable. But like for me, when the sweat is there, I just feel like my skin feels so nourished, you know, because it's like it's been a part of me, you know. So I like to dress as per the weather, and I feel like living in Mumbai again, so humid.
So humid.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel like, yeah, as I was telling you also sometimes, yeah, like when I see, like even as kids, for kids, they have to wear a uniform. I've also worn a uniform, you know, when I was in school. And it's like that fabric, everything, like, how are you supposed to pay attention when you're struggling to keep up with this heat and, you know, this temperature? So I feel yoga has really allowed me to listen to your body, you know, and it's supposed to, you know, dress a certain way as per the weather. If it's cold, you have these beautiful fabrics, or it doesn't need to be thick, but you know, like in India, I feel even with fabrics and different quilts, like it has the power to, like during the heat, to make you feel like cool, and during the cold, to make you feel like warm. Even there's so many like stones, for example, you know, using these natural materials in your house can really change the temperature of the room without an AC also, you know.
Wow.
So yeah, like I've just started looking into these solutions that, you know, just makes me feel comfortable in the situation that I am. And somehow like Yama, I think like it's not like for winter wear, but I think it gives you that snug when it's like cold, right, like right now and this AC.
Yeah.
And yeah, when it's like hot, it just makes you feel like, oh, I can, you know, like, yeah, it's just comfortable. So I think,
No,
yeah, that is something I feel like,
the fabric is amazing. Honestly, it's
yeah, it
something
feels
that
like
one has to try
try
to
it,
understand,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, and then it's addictive.
Yes, it is
Then
addictive.
it spoils you. That's why the whole point is like, I think like we just need to have like all different styles and just
I
create like
love
a.
what you're wearing right now. It is so simple yet chic, and you're
Oh,
wearing
thank
Yama
you.
also. And like I feel like when I moved to Bombay, I ditched my denims the moment. Like I
Yeah,
just,
I
cause
can
just
imagine for
I don't
you.
get how people are wearing
For you,
denims. Honestly, it's
Bombay
just
must have been so crazily hot, right?
yes, exactly. It is very hot for me, and it's very humid. And like for me, it either has to be cotton or linen,
Of
something
course.
natural, something
Yeah.
easy, flowy. Otherwise, I just can't breathe.
Yeah.
Honestly,
True.
yeah. And same for the yoga wear or even my workout wear. Like
Yeah.
if it's something that is like if it's polyester, let's
Yeah.
say, if it has like a lot of plastic in that, it
I've
doesn't
done
feel
it so
good.
much, Rave, like as a fashion person. Of course, I mean, I feel like, of course, there was no awareness when I was young. And it was more about expressing
And
through different
sometimes you would wear
styles.
something for the design to look good,
Exactly,
to look hot. Like
look great. But I like now I'm just thinking, how did I wear that? How was, you know, like I'm just like right now I'm like, I just cannot even try to wear that, you know. So just I feel again it's just like, yeah, life changes when things change within you, you know. So yeah, like even to become like a morning person, it can't happen like just tomorrow.
and also just to add also again for the fabric, especially in a city like Mumbai, you know,
Yeah.
microplastics
Yeah.
in your workout, in your gym wear,
Yeah.
that could be more harmful than you can actually think because it
Direct
affects
sun.
your hormonal system, you know,
Yeah.
it can affect your endocrine system, right? So especially when
Crazy.
you sweat, that happens. Right.
Wow. There's like
So
so much
that is
depth,
something that I
right?
think people should have more
Inside
awareness and do
us.
their own research and make a conscious choice. Are they
Yeah.
okay with this? Or they would rather wear natural fabrics. You know,
Yeah,
it's a
true.
choice to make.
Yeah, and the same with food. It's like, yeah, getting to know your source, I think. At least you will try. Like, I feel like it's not always possible, but I think, like, just keeping an eye and trying is something is what you can do. I'm not saying that everything is available to you right away. Of course, you got to be flexible and just see what's available to you. And then, of course, like so many other points in terms of, you know, like your budget and, you know, like everyone's having their own whatever. So whatever is there, it's there. And I feel that also has come to you for a reason. But yeah, I think like it's just like for yourself of like what you want to, how you want to shape your life. Uh, Yeah, in this lifetime.
Yeah, no, it's like I also feel it's not about rigid norms, right? It's about
Correct.
being flexible. It's about exploring. Just,
Exploring.
just,
Try
yeah,
things.
just
Yeah.
trying, seeing, maybe raising your awareness, learning something about something. It's not about
Yeah.
becoming crazy into like the zone that, like I, at some point I was crazy about clean beauty. Okay, that's a
Yeah.
story. I even like even beauty
That's how,
story.
yeah,
This
that's
is
how
how
you
I've
started.
started.
Yeah.
Yes. So it was again around the COVID time. Okay, and I
But
had
oh
a
my
lot of
God, your
time to read.
skin, what's your secret? Like, is it just yoga? Is it clean beauty? What is it?
No, I
Or
think
is it
I'm.
the food that you eat?
Of course, I try to eat well and all that stuff, but I
Yeah.
think I'm keeping myself away from stress has been the biggest change for me, not the skincare.
Correct.
Because I remember there was a time that I was just like, there was so much acne. I really battled with acne for a long time, and I've tried everything like dermatologist, skincare routine, K beauty, like even the website that I've started where I was
Yes.
selling and basically curating clean beauty products.
Right.
So I've tried everything for years, and I was preaching it and stuff like that, but nothing actually worked till the moment that I was like, okay, I need to eliminate stress and I need to start meditating and I need to be more regular with
Wow.
my yoga practice. And that helped
Yeah.
surprisingly. And my skincare is like so basic now. Like it is
Correct.
so basic.
I feel the
And
same actually. It's the energy shift.
yeah, how is your skincare routine? Because your skin is also so
I have
beautiful.
no skincare. I think yoga is my skincare routine.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
feel like the asanas and the practice and the sweat. Sweat is my skincare routine. I feel, yeah, I think like that's the only thing that yeah, I think maybe once a week I'll use like a, kesari scrub or something. Yeah, which I got from Kashmir or something like that. It's again like my mom got it and I just took it, like, because I don't even go and look for it because I'm just a lazy person when it comes up. Because I just feel like there's so much in the market. I don't understand it. I don't understand what to pick. Both with makeup and beauty, I feel like with fashion, I feel like I can, I'm just like, I just know, I can just, take out the clutter and be like, mujhe ye chahiye. But with skincare and all of that, I'm very lost. So yeah, but I also had like some skin issues when I was like 25. And I don't even know if it was acne, but it was just like, what do you say, like something on my face. And I didn't exactly know like what was causing it. So I, of course, started going to dermats just to like understand. It was just like this grainy kind of a texture that I was building. And at that time, they also told me, like just try to eliminate dairy. So even now, like I'm mainly plant based. So after yoga, I completely took out dairy from my life. And I think that has really helped me because I feel like before I can just see the difference of like me with dairy and without dairy. And it's like if I have something right now, I'll only have ghee. But like other than that, yeah, I feel like I used to feel very bloated, both like on my belly and my face with like dairy consumption. And again, that whole I think like everything has settled down, and just the yoga practice, yeah, like even doing all these inversions, like the blood flow and everything. I exactly, I don't know the exact science, but there is a feeling that all of these things are working for me. So yeah, I think that's only
Now
like
your
my
skin
skincare.
is
And of course,
glowing.
the sun. Like I
The
love to,
sun.
yeah, take a lot of sun every day morning. At least I'll, yeah, take sun, and I feel like that helps. The morning sun is, yeah, another, yeah, energy that, yeah, is, I feel like it's flowing through me. Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, so I love what you're doing with Yama Yoga. The visual storytelling is also so beautiful. Hands down to you because you're the
I
creative
don't know.
director
Thanks to
at Yama.
Shakti. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Honestly, like I feel it's yeah, to become a creative director of a brand. I never thought that, and to be honest, before, I think when I was younger, when I was studying architecture, I had no idea like what does a creative director do. Like I feel like these things, I was not looking for it, but I think, yeah, just because the passion, one thing led to another. And I feel I'm someone who loves to take up opportunities. I feel like when I was younger, also, of course, like you're young and it's not like you're confident to do everything, but something will come to you. And before saying no, I would just say yes. I would be like, even if I'm not confident, I'm just going to say yes. I'm just going to put myself in that zone and just see how it goes. Max to max, if it's not for me, it's not for me. And I'll know that. But if it's for me, it's going to open doors for other things, you know? So I think I was always just opening myself like to opportunities and trying things out. And I feel that and that whole experience is allowing me to be this person that I am today and work in a certain way, or you know, like even yeah, like even it's a teamwork, but in the end, you know, like I have like my best friend Ria, who's also my best friend from my architecture college days, and yeah, we both are not pursuing architecture, but it's like we are working together since I think 8 years now. So she started her journey as being like my content manager. So she's like my manager for my personal brand, just Santoshi Shetty or Stylage. And then came Gardens of Santi when my yoga journey started. So she takes care of Gardens of Santi. I mean, we curate things together. Me, Auntie, Ria, and even Ria's partner, Akash.
I love the aesthetics also of Gardens of Santi, because honestly, living in India for like it's been also 10, 11 years for me, you know. And till today, I have not yet seen another yoga studio. I mean, it's online yoga studio right now, and of course, you do retreats and offline classes times to times. That would embody that culture in a beautiful way, because like even yesterday, you know, I received a call from a friend. She was asking me, Nelly, do you know any good yoga studio in Bombay? Do you know, by the way? Because she just stunned me with that question. And she's from Bombay. She's been here forever, you know. She probably knows more than me, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, Radhika, honestly, I don't think I know good yoga studios.
But I think right now that
Surprisingly,
awareness, of course, yeah, like it was the same for me. And I feel like I love style. And I think like I like to resonate. Like when people ask me to just come take whatever, you know, for collaborations, or they want me to like, you know, like even a lot of like hotels or you know properties will just call me and they like use this property for the retreat. For me it's not that. For me it's like it has to be something that resonates with my style, you know. Like I feel like for me yoga
are you planning to open an offline studio? I'm sorry to
as
interrupt
of now I think I have too much on my plate. So
because
I feel that's
it's
a
like
bit
the need of an hour.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, like
but
all these yoga classes that are happening right now. I'm
let's
sorry,
see
but
next year. I think
yes.
a cool Yama Yoga and a yoga studio, Santi studio, like a you know mix where we'll have everything together. Maybe, who knows? Yeah, yeah. I think like that is there as a vision, but it's not something that I'm working on right now. I think like there's a lot of other things that I have to uh, do before I get there. So I think definitely. But yeah, I think like one studio that I really like in Bombay in Bandra is Rising Loka. I don't know if you've been there.
I've been there. Yeah, it's a nice studio, but again, it's not a yoga studio. We're talking about a yoga space.
Yeah.
You know
But
what I mean?
yeah, correct. I think like it's
And they don't have many yoga classes.
they do have.
They do have.
Yeah, they do have a lot of because she's a friend of mine and she is a yoga teacher herself.
Okay.
But it's like they've also created something interesting that on the ground floor there's like a gym set up, but on the first floor it's like a yoga space. And what I really like is that it has this Bandra energy. And you know, it's just like a 2-floor thing. And literally on the first floor, it's just covered by trees, you know. So again, it just feels like you're on a tree house or something like that, you know, like just on the first floor. And so it has that earth energy, and you know, like it's just like a very pastel green. So I think like in Bombay, if there's one yoga studio that I love is like Rising Loka. But yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. I feel like when I travel to Sri Lanka and Bali,
Yeah, the spaces that you have there, but mostly because of the nature, they have so much space.
Exactly, right? So I think that is something that I feel like maybe we can look into it and create. I think like creative in the end, like since I also I'm a designer myself, I feel you can create things, you know, like
could come
architecture, exactly. And now I'm doing my parents' home, and so I've not like worked like for clients, but I just do like, you know, family houses, you know, my own space and all these things, and I love it. But yeah, I feel like the power of creativity, even to like just create spaces. And I'm also a consumer of a lot of like boutique properties in and around the world, you know. So I know like I have a style when I go to places, when I travel, or when, you know, when I host retreats, you know, who I connect with, I'll just immediately know I want to do it over here, you know. And I'm very inspired by the spaces, you know, people are like, I feel Sri Lanka also, oh my God, like, I'm just like just inspired by the creative energy. Even Bali, it's like, what is going on? Like, you know, it's like people will really take their time to create. It's not like it's like an intent, oh, I want to like create a hotel and I want to run it and I want to make money out of it. It's not with that intention. It's like when you go there, you will just feel something so strong. Like this thing has not just happened over time. There is a personality. It is someone's, like, you know, you can just see. And if you meet like the creators of these spaces, you will feel their reflection, you know. So I feel like even like I just recently, like 3 years 4 years back, I got my own space, and it's mine and auntie's. And I feel like even that space, like people who come in our houses, like they see our personalities, they feel like, oh, it is Santi, you know. And of course it's been inspired by travel, fashion, yoga, and of course even the work that we do or everything. So yeah, like I feel yeah, like for me, I feel maybe the yoga studio is not happening yet because I think my vision is still not clear yet. I think it
I have
will.
a feeling it will. I'm not sure if it's going to be in Bombay or maybe it's going to be abroad. You never
Yeah,
know.
you never know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
speaking of like yoga perception in
Yeah.
India
Yeah,
and
but I
abroad,
definitely have like a vision to have a retreat space. But again, like, you know, it's not like something which is happening tomorrow. I feel like it will come to me at the right time because
yes.
it's a big responsibility, you know. So it's like I feel like now let me just, yeah, because now I'm doing Gardens of Santi, and as I said, Gopala's is my dad's restaurant, and both me and auntie, we've also started working with yeah, Mr. Gopala's, and his name is Manoj. And yeah, it is very interesting. Yeah, even with my dad, I feel he's also you know yeah, you should definitely meet him as
I
well.
would love
Like a lot
that.
of me, yeah. I mean, both my parents have given. I feel like I really like now. I can see. I feel we all have duality, right? But I feel like when I look and when I tap into their strongest points, I really feel that within myself. And I try to use that because I do feel I have that in me, you know? So I do feel like I just see how my dad works and I'm inspired. And I'm like, when I'm working, I just feel, oh, this is Manoj
I
energy.
love how rooted you are. It's amazing. It's rare. I think these days people try to just rebel and move away
Yeah.
from their families. They forget their roots.
But I feel like
And
the roots itself has a lot of secrets, has a lot of wisdom. Like even I just met my grandmom like yesterday, day
yeah.
before, and me and auntie we just got married, so she was just like, so she can't travel, so she's in Nasik. So I'm born in Nasik, but brought
Yes.
up in Mumbai, and because my mom's from, I mean both of them, my parents are from Mangalore, but grandfathers came to Mumbai again like for work. One came to Nasik, and they both are hoteliers. Like if you don't know, like the Shetty community, like most of them like are hoteliers. I think that's what like the community business, and of course they are like big time foodies and love to make food. Yeah. So my Dodda also, she just her passion is to just feed people, you know. And I feel that it's like I'm also like I feel Dodda energy in my mother. And when I was living with her, it's like I never learned how to cook because she was always giving us, you know. And if I go to, and she also thinks that I'm my dad's daughter, that I'm very like fidgety, or if I touch something, you know, 10 things will fall. So she'll be like, you stay out of the kitchen. Yeah, I was not allowed in the kitchen.
Control.
Yeah, and then she would also
Control.
complain, telling me that you don't know anything. Like but of course I was traveling alone so much that
Yeah.
I learned so many things, how to be independent. And then when I started living by myself, I don't know how to cook Indian and all these things, but I like, you know, I can just feel I'm
I can
Rajeshwari.
cook Indian, by the way. I didn't
It's
tell
so
you
crazy.
this.
Andy can also cook Indian. Like how? But that's so amazing. That is just so amazing that you can
We
cook.
foreigners, we have a lot of appreciation, honestly, for Indian culture. Like just like auntie, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, you learn all my mother's and Dodda's recipes because I
We're
want all of
lucky, yes,
that.
and
Yeah, literally, he makes dal khichdi. He'll make like, you know, that puri bhaji ka, potato ka. bhaji. Then he'll also make some amazing
I'm
like
coming over
Kerala
for
stew.
dinner.
You have to. But I'll also make some like, my version of, things. Yeah, I'm more like toasties, or I'll make like
You're
a
more
vegan
Western.
salt sugar. Yeah, we kind of like blend in both. And yeah, I think we can have like the best of both worlds. Yeah. But I think like I've also learned so much from like Auntie and the way he cooks. And when I went to Norway, like they also like just appreciate like they also have a house in Spain, and over there just like the buckets and just olive oil and just like
Oh
salt
yeah,
and
the
some,
flavors
more,
are so
yeah,
good.
and just some tomatoes. And I'm just like, I want to just eat this
I
all
think
day
ingredients
long.
really matter. Like I feel like
Exactly.
even in India, like North India, if you like anybody like Delhi food is always the best, when you travel there because the ingredients are so fresh.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And
But
in
India
South,
also,
of
I
course,
just
you also have your
love.
cuisine that they're really good, at I never been to the South, honestly, myself, but I can't wait to finally travel.
Oh my
Never been
God!
there.
You
I
have to
know it's
first come to my
embarrassing,
house
but
and eat some amazing South Indian food. Like, yeah,
yeah.
like my mom makes kori roti, but she makes like vegetarian version for me. She makes it with potato curry. So it's like all coconut based curries. And of course the neer dosa, and
Oh,
then she
I
make
love
mushroom.
dosa.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think like I'm not saying this because I'm a South Indian, but I think just all my friends also, we come from all different backgrounds, and in college we've all loved like each other's tiffins, and we were all like, okay, what have you gotten? Shall exchange, because I think like you're always fascinated to like eat something new, something different, and I feel like in India also everyone is killing. I think everyone is killing it all around the world, not just in India. I think food is something that kind of brings people together. It's a love language, and I feel like
Yes.
that's why like I am also quite interested in the food business, and me and Auntie we are also create because we personally are big time food explorers, and when we go to like, for example, yesterday we were in Nasik, we want to have like that local misal pav, everywhere, like the local vibes. And both
Oh,
Auntie also has,
okay.
that eye for like all these authentic things, and even in Sri Lanka, we love Sri Lanka and Bali mainly also because of the food, like both Indonesian food, like the tempeh and the peanut sauce and and even in Sri Lanka the dal curry. So they also
Yeah.
their style is also very similar to South of India. So I don't know, somewhere where, like when I'm in Sri Lanka, I just feel like it's home, like the coconut trees. Again, it just like reminds me a lot of Mangalore energy and
But I
yeah.
see that you've traveled a lot, right? You've been probably to like a lot of places. Do you feel that the perception that the West, specifically West, has of India and yoga in particular, I feel like they find it more aspirational and it's more cool out there, to
Yeah.
practice yoga than it is here.
True, of course. I would say that is because it's like we all feel that the grass is greener on the other side. In India, it's like India is trying to be like more Western. Me also. Like I'm like with fashion and all these things, like when I was like younger, I would always be like, oh, the Kardashians and like all these things and all of that. Oh, LA, I need to go to California. And like it was always like external. But I see that everyone has their own essence. You are just like there to try it out. And that's the thing. Like yoga was all around me, but I was like, okay, cool, it's there. Like it was nothing like, oh, fancy or
Exactly.
different.
See, you didn't have the appreciation of that, even though it was always around you. And I just
Exactly.
feel it. So even amongst my friends, if I
Yeah.
ever say, hey guys, let's go for a yoga session or let's practice yoga together or whatever, most of them, like 99% of them are like, yoga is just too zen for me.
Right.
Like it's just too chill. I don't feel like I just don't feel like they don't find it cool. They would rather go play paddle, which is also fun, but whatever. I'd rather go
Yeah,
play
of
paddle
course.
or
Everyone
go to
has
the
it.
gym or go
Yeah.
to Pilates and stuff like that. And they kind of look down on practicing yoga,
They
especially
need
you're
to
talking
come for
about
a
like
juicy vinyasa, babe.
yeah, but like it's so interesting, and abroad, like
Yeah.
practicing yoga is cool.
It's
Like
cool.
look at
Yeah.
Aloe Moves, they have this
Yeah.
beautiful studio in LA.
Yeah, of
And all
course.
the
It's
like happening, let's say people go
yeah.
there and they find it wow, like I have to go and practice, and then they go also to Bali. This is where you met Auntie
I did
also, right?
also like my teacher training course in Costa Rica, like the Vinyasa
Oh,
teacher
wow.
training. Yeah, like because my teacher, she's actually Canadian, Dedica, her name is. And yeah, I've always been inspired by the way she flows. Of course, first I did my Ashtanga practice in India, but also like, yeah, I've just been like for me, I feel like everyone has, gotten something from somewhere. And I feel every teacher has something new to give because it's like we all have different bodies. We all are so unique, you know, and we all have a history. For example, oh, I'm a dancer, someone is a singer, someone has done some other job, whatever, like, you know, I think all these things you kind of bring in your practice. And the way your body has moved before you started your yoga journey has a lot of things to say, and it is going to shape your practice. So for me, I think like because I've been a dancer and I've always loved dancing, I've also been attracted to a practice that is very flowy, you know, and I'm attracted to teachers who kind of have a dance background, for example, you know. But that's what I feel like now, like even like just meeting Auntie and the exchange of the East and the West, is I feel like we both really appreciate both. Like we just see, I feel yeah, like this whole the earth is one, you know, and we all are sharing one sun and one moon. And I feel the beauty about this whole the diversity, like within India or outside of India, I just feel like it's beautiful. And again, like a yoga practice, like yoga is like for everyone, you know, dance is for everyone, love is for everyone. So these things you cannot like just define. But I feel with the creative energy, like we are unique as individuals, you can bring some uniqueness to the practice, to the style, you know, like you can add style to it, and you can just, yeah, make it fun. And I feel like maybe when I was young, like that time it was like just very traditional. So as
Exactly,
kids,
yes.
like you're not very attracted to something just like, you know, traditional. Kids want to have fun, they want to dance, they want to like just be a little musty. But if you're just asked very strictly to be quiet, it is challenging, you know. So I think
Okay.
like even as a teacher, like I also have like a lot of like beginners coming, and I, because I love the practice so much, so I try my best to give it in a way that they enjoy it, you know. Yeah.
So I think the yoga teacher plays a big role. Finding a good yoga teacher is not easy. I mean, of course, there are a lot of good teachers,
Yeah.
and everybody brings their own side to it. But finding the right teacher, that's not easy. And I feel like a lot of friends of mine who don't have very like they don't really want to practice yoga. It's probably because
Yeah.
they have tried a class where they felt, okay, this is boring, or this just doesn't feel right, or something like that. But finding the right teacher is the key, I feel, you know. And
Yeah, of
everybody
course.
brings something new to their practice. And yeah, so I personally, like, I've tried a lot of classes. I have not met a lot of good yoga teachers that could keep me engaged, you know, in
Yeah.
a way that would challenge me. And actually going for your class with Auntie, it was amazing. I was like, wow, some fresh flow of energy,
Yeah, that
you know,
was a
because at
nice
the
one.
end
I
you are
remember
going
that
for the
one. Yeah.
vibe, you know. People,
Yeah,
when
the
they go for a
vibe.
class, they're
Yeah.
going for the vibe.
It's an energy exchange, and I do feel like I personally feel like you don't look for teachers. I feel like one is like when you have that intention of just getting into the practice, like you want to do this for yourself, I think the teacher comes to you. I feel the right teacher will find you, you know, like you just have to, like, as I said, like even Auntie coming in my life, that was my point in my life when I was healing, and from my, you know, past lows or breakups and, you know, heartbreak. And then I really found myself through dancing and music. I was like a big time raver, and yeah, techno music, Psy music. I just like I feel like I had lost that part of myself who was dancing. And when I rediscovered myself through music, I just started to feel free. I just experienced freedom again, you know. And when I started experiencing that freedom again, I just wanted to like just share so much love to myself and to everyone, you know. So I just became this channel of you know, love. And when that happened, I was like, that's when that whole, I think the seed started to plant or whatever, or grow, that I want to inculcate a meditation practice, or I'm interested to know, you know, how to uh, yeah, do yoga or just sit in a place in silence. Like I was still like meditating, but I think like I was looking for a teacher. I was like, I just want someone to guide me. And I think Auntie came in my life as a teacher. Like first, I really, when I met Auntie, I felt like, you know, that was his purpose in my life, to inspire, because he was in that, like he was on that path of discovering himself on these different realms through yoga, through meditation, through dance, through music. He's also a DJ himself. So, yeah, and I have always been, I'm a dancer. So I think it was also a match, it was a give and take. And I think when I saw him just being so connected to himself, or like as even we call our retreats, self-love retreats, because yeah, like he was really just sharing love for himself or developing that connection with the divine within him, and I was interested in that. So yeah, it all like happened, and I was just interested in all his practices. Like, how do you do it? You teach me. Like, you tell me what pranayama does. Like, what is this? Even my pranayama, the first few times, Auntie was the one who was sharing it with me. But I think, yeah, that's what I feel like, because I was interested in how that person was living his life. I was just so interested in learning from him. And I think that was the first attraction towards then finding like more like, yeah, someone who can just dedicate their time to really like teach me, because Auntie had other things to do, though like we are still like, I think, each other's teachers. And uh, yeah, like constantly I think evolving in our like, yeah, individual practices through our own unique styles. But I think then when we share, I think we also resonate so much with each other's practices, that I'm like, oh, we are like, like this is what I was feeling, but so cool that you have this way to like do it. So I feel like teachers come to you when you feel that for yourself. And yeah, I think like also then just surrendering to yeah, the teacher is all that you need to do.
Wow.
Yeah. And I feel like, yeah, that is one thing. Like, I think teacher just comes to, like they just put the key in the car.
Then
They
you
just
have
come and,
to
yeah,
do
but
it
then you
yourself.
have to drive the car, and I feel like my idea of sharing it online, of share, because my journey also started during Corona, and somehow I didn't have like a physical teacher with me, but I just made the most out of it. But I feel like that self practice time that I have gotten, that has been my teacher, to really
Okay.
allow myself to feel, to stop.
Beautiful.
You know what I mean? So
Yes,
I
I think
think,
that's what also is pushing me now. I'm not able to
yeah,
find a teacher that like actually is like around me, let's say like
yeah.
physically around me, like in the area, so that because I'm not very comfortable with online classes
Yeah.
personally, I want that
Also, like my
physical
teacher, again, I
space.
said when I met Dedika, she's from Canada. We had this time difference. So I couldn't even do a live
Yes.
class with her.
Yeah,
So
so that pushed you also again
that
into
pushed me,
the
but I was
self.
just so interested. I'm like, and plus I feel like not just like flowing with a teacher, but also like, when you read books, you see photos, it's not just the write up, but you are visualizing, or you see a structure, you're seeing. When you also see other people flow, that is also a teacher. When you see their body awareness of how they are moving, automatically somewhere down the line in your practice, you are thinking about that movement. So I feel like even watching people flow is a teacher.
Nice.
Yeah, which has kind of just helped me, and yeah, and I feel like, yeah, and then after that, I think like yoga is like, that's the thing. Like, I wanted to do the teacher training course because I'm someone, I like my space. Like, I like, I can't go to the gym, I can't whatever do these things, and at the same time, I feel because I was traveling so much, I can't commit to like a teacher or a studio or a practice. So I wanted to do the teacher training only to understand how I can have a practice for myself. So that was the whole intent, and I feel like that's the thing. And like even the practice has changed so much. I don't teach what I was teaching like 3 years down the line. Like I feel I'm just sharing what I feel in this very moment, and my practice is also evolving. So I'm just like going with the flow. But that's the thing. Like the practice is my teacher right now. I think when yeah, intuition. It's like, when she's guiding me, and I'm just, yeah, of course. But of course, there's so much inspiration. I see Auntie Flo. Look at his body, how it's moving, how he's doing it. Yeah, even with you, I've seen you, how you flow. And yeah, there are a few things that I'm just so attracted. Oh my God, like the way she does this, it's so beautiful.
Oh.
Yeah, really. So yeah, I'm like, wow. I was very excited to meet you, and you came.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I mean, it was very random at first. I was like, I mean, I've been following you, of course. I've been following Gardens of Santi, and you guys were doing an event. And I was like, wow, I have to attend. I'll get to meet you.
So
I'll
glad.
get to
Thanks to
flow.
universe.
Yes.
Yeah, made us meet, and yeah, this way. And yeah, I think like the practice really makes me feel like that is like now my what do you say, like hangout time with friends as well. Like, I just don't hang out just to chill. It either has to be like we are working together, or we have something like this, or we are dancing together, or we have like, like there needs to be something more. But like
Yes.
feeling things together. Like even yoga, even my best friend Ria, like both of us, we are like, of course, like a trip. Either we are giving each other a massage or some adjustment, or because she also, and we like, even actually her yoga journey started before me, so she's also been one of my inspirations, and I think we both have had, like, we are like these, I don't know, twin souls. Like we are very different in terms of, like, when you look at us, like you will be like, oh, Ria is so different, Santoshi is so different, but we are yin and yang, and we are very attracted to each other's visions and each other's way of living. Like whatever Ria does for herself, it's kind of also the same that I share with Auntie, like whatever Auntie does, I'm attracted to that, and he's attracted
It's
to,
a
like,
great thing to have a community like that. I also feel
I feel like you
friends
can't just, like, this is not a solo, it is a solo journey, but I think the whole idea of having this connection is for a reason, and I feel that's the thing, like a teacher will be there, but at the same time we all are each other's teachers, and we all are students in a way, so it's just a constant, like, if I just sit with you, and sometimes I do this with my friends also, I'm like, okay, I'll just start guiding it, but it's like I start flowing, then I stop, and then I'm like, okay, it's your turn, just do whatever your body wants to stretch in whatever way, and I'm like doing that, and I'm like, wow, like, just that person intuition made them feel, or maybe that they wanted to release a few things that day, and that was new for me. So I'm like the creative energy is just like, once you allow it, like for example, even dancing for that matter, it's like you don't really plan steps to dance, right? Like when the music is there, you just feel it.
Yeah, your body moves.
Your
can't
body
control
moves,
it.
so you just have to feel it, and I think like that's when yoga is happening, and the feeling, it's not just on the mat, you just got to feel everything that you're doing, and and then you're just enjoying life and not attached to the, what do you say, the outcome,
The outcome, how
Yeah.
it looks also.
how it looks. Yes.
Yeah. And I just also love that, like, these days, I think you also notice that wellness is trending. Wellness
Yeah.
is everything. Everybody's mentioning wellness. Everybody's trying to be a part of some wellness community. Even brands who are not exactly related to wellness, they become wellness brands in a way.
But I think it is important,
Yes, and there's so many, like, people, even like fashion magazine like Vogue
Yeah, Vogue,
is doing
I saw.
retreats. They've just
Yeah.
recently did this wellness community
With Alo.
event.
Yes, I saw that.
You saw that, right?
Yeah,
And
of course.
it's
In the end,
amazing.
health is wealth.
Yes.
I think like how much ever like luxury you have, like back then I think luxury was just like going to these just resting and just eating a lot and then drinking and all these things. But I think like we have also realized in this like back then the life was also slow, but now it's not slow anymore. So the more we are going to move, we are also going to like just get exhausted with anything, with just partying, with just working, with just this and that. So to balance that, we need to do something, Like even for me, when I was doing yoga, like I love to just feel high in life. And I think like yoga was like a natural way to feel high with no like downers or anything. So I'm like, okay, this is great,
Right.
So I just want that up energy, I'm not saying that I'm like active the whole
There
day.
are things that give you energy and things that take your energy.
Exactly. There's a give, and you know that. Like for example, singing gives you energy, dancing gives you. It's like it's something that you're using physically, but you don't get tired. So like, or any physical activity, swimming or being out in the ocean, and all these things. So I think like life is never this or that. It's not just wellness, or it's party. I feel like party, wellness both need to happen. It's the balance, So, and I'm
you can
so
party
happy
in the right way also. I've noticed
Exactly.
that. Do you even have any friends who like party on a Saturday night, like who go
No,
clubbing?
no, none
I
of
say,
my-
I
no,
think
no,
something
no.
happened. Nobody's clubbing these
can't.
days. Nobody goes to like even a bar.
Yeah.
Because, and what's more popular, I think, these days are these brunches, events,
Exactly. I want to
wellness
like, me and
events.
Auntie, we are like,
yeah.
we want to start like morning rave at Santi also, because he also plays. I also like, and you've not come for my dance meditation session.
No, I
You have to
should.
come
I have
for that as well. Yeah, like that's also like, just so dancing again, like it has been.
Yeah,
so I
now
also,
instead of clubs, they're coffee raves, right? Coffee shop,
Exactly.
and then it'll be like a rave event.
yeah, I think that is fun, and I feel like. yeah, things are changing, and I think like we all have to get out of the old patterns, because I do feel like Corona also played a very important role, because I think a reshift has happened
Yeah.
in some different ways. I feel you got that time to look within, to change your life, to get more like healthy in some or the other way. Everyone has changed something about their life, or added something to their life. And at the same time, I also feel life has gotten, even like, at least for me, or being in Mumbai, or like, I'm a workaholic. Okay, I'm like, my brain doesn't stop. I'm always like, one thing is happening, then I move on to another project. Like, I'm never like having like, okay, I'm chilling also. I know how to chill. Like, I feel like I just love my work also so much that I'm just enjoying and chilling, and I can also like fully detach from my phone and all. But I think like I'm also someone who is a visionary, so I have to like just work on it. But I also feel like now, for example, I'll just give you a small example of like, even content creating back then, 10 years down the line, it was just like one photo you had to post and whatever, but now for the same amount of, for example, the money or the work you have to create a reel, and the format is, there's more work, there's more people involved, there's more editing. So constantly I feel like now, because of all these things, it's just gotten like, the digital world, life is fast.
Yeah.
Like, life is too fast, and I feel even after Corona, this whole work from home culture, but there is no stop. It's like, you don't know, okay, now I need to stop working, now I need to just chill. There is no break, because everything can happen in your phone. So if something needs to happen now, they'll call you and they'll be like, oh, this needs to happen now. There's no like, oh, you have a week to do this, nothing like that. So I feel things have changed in like the duality. I see the duality. I feel like
Maybe that's why there is a need for wellness
wellness,
now. That's why people
exactly,
are so crazy,
to keep yourself
about
sane.
wellness, yes,
Yeah,
practices and stuff like that, because we're
true.
so overwhelmed with everything.
Yeah,
The situations are really stressful, being all the time on the phone. It's
yeah,
not that we want to be all the time on the phone.
correct.
Like, I
But
swear,
it's, you
if
can't.
it
Yeah.
wasn't a part of my job, and if it wasn't for the brand that I'm trying to build, I would just delete Instagram, I
But you
swear.
can't like now.
I
But
can't.
it's like, this is it. Like, if you have a
Exactly.
brand, you have to
You
be on
have to
it.
be. And like,
That's the
whoever you are,
medium.
even if you're not an influencer, even if you're
Correct.
not trying to build some digital presence for your brand, let's say you are a doctor, you're an engineer, maybe you're a cook.
Everything
Everybody
is
needs a
there.
digital presence. That's how
Exactly.
you promote
That's your
yourself.
folio. That's like
Yeah.
your everyone. It's like a way of connecting. But it's like, yeah, the way of connecting also, it requires a lot of work to, of course, to create a piece of content.
I
It is
know.
effort. But that's the thing. Like, now, I just feel like all around, not just like in my life, but around me, friends, family, everyone has been the busiest they've ever been in some or the other way. Or like, I think after 30 is just getting into that. I just feel, I don't have like babies, but I just feel that mother energy within me, or maybe I connect to my
That's that
mother
feminine energy that you
energy.
got
Exactly.
connected
That's,
thanks to
yeah,
yoga, right?
that's speaking. And I feel like that's transitioning in, like creating all these things in some, or like even nurturing, people
Yes.
around me and myself. And of course, it also requires a lot of give and take in terms of energy. So yeah, I feel like, yeah, you should know when to cut it, and you should know when to, yeah, relax, and yeah,
Beautiful.
like, at
Yes.
least just like charge your battery. I think we all need to just remember to keep charging, and I think
Yeah.
that's the whole point of,
Disconnect to connect.
yeah, correct, yeah.
Yeah. Yay. That's great. So let's just do a quick fire round to finish
Oh,
this. Do I
okay.
have the questions with me? Yes, I do have the questions with me. Let's try. Okay. So, quick questions. Just very simple, honest answers. No
Okay.
BS, since it's the name of the podcast.
Okay, no BS.
Yeah. What is most overrated wellness trend these days, according to you?
Oh, I'm so bad at this.
But something that annoys you. You just see it all the time on Instagram. You're like, people, stop it. Like, you don't need to do this.
Honestly, yeah, I think, yeah, again, no bullshit, but really, like, I'm someone who is like, I don't care.
Okay,
Yeah.
B and then B.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's like tripping. I feel I'm also tripping, so I'm like, yeah, I think that is everyone's.
I
But
think for
yeah, but I've not really, like maybe noticed something that I completely.
That's great. I love your energy. For me,
Yeah.
honestly, one thing that I find slightly annoying is
Yeah.
that people who are trying to make it all about aesthetics.
Correct.
They don't even do it in real life. But then,
Correct.
a reel is going to be just basically about aesthetics. It's going
Yeah.
to be some iced coffee or an iced matcha and then putting a nice outfit,
You know,
going
I'll
for a
tell you,
class and just,
Nelia, I
yeah.
don't care about it because
As long
I've
as it
grown in
gets
this
done.
industry.
Yeah.
So I just know ki this is, and I feel like that also comes from a point where, so I have of course like worked with brands so much, and everyone thinks that that's my life, like going to whatever like resorts or like like, because I did both travel and fashion or fashion weeks, and
Yeah.
of course what I put in like on Instagram, that's my life. I even wrote a blog about it saying that that's not my life. I'm just like good at creating content. Like I'm creating it because I've gotten a brief and I'm doing it, of course I'm doing it my way. And it's not like I'm just like chilling. I'm like really doing all these other things. But I also know, okay, this is something that I do for my bread and butter. If I have to make something look nice and pretty, that's my job.
Yeah,
So I take
actually,
it as my,
great for
you know what?
people who are trying to make aesthetic videos of this is
Yeah,
that if it
correct.
motivates someone,
Yeah.
great job.
Correct. But of course, like I feel like now on social media, you like it's a very like that's the thing. I feel for me, it's about the niche. I feel who really gets my vibe and like looks at my authentic self, and they're following me for that. I also had a major like transition even in terms of like following. Like my following was also going down because I had this shift, and a lot of people
Oh, a
couldn't
lot of people
connect.
unfollowed you because you
Yeah.
went from fashion to this.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I feel it makes sense. I feel
Yeah,
like
they followed
like
you
if
for fashion. They're not interested in yoga. So
exactly. So and but at the same time, I feel like now like getting my niche, and I kind of see that when I do retreats and workshops and the people that I'm attracting. I'm like, wow, like it's just crazy how
no,
this
the
whole
community you're building is
is.
really good. Like it's really nice. I love what you're doing with Gardens of Santi and like you're
I'm
making
just
the yoga cool again, honestly. I think for like today's like for especially for our generation where it's all about also aesthetics, it's all about the vibe
yeah
as well. You bring
yeah.
in
It
that
can be all of
like
it
it can be
together.
cool, yoga
Yeah.
can be fun, it could be challenging, it's not
Yeah.
all zen and chill. Like
Exactly.
it
I think like yoga, you can in yoga, you have to really. That's the thing. Not just yoga. I feel if you're confused about how to start your, it all starts with starting a fitness journey. And then you start having like a physical practice and all these things. I feel go to different classes at least when you start. Try two different things at the same time. Maybe divide it like twice a week. I'm gonna do this. Thrice a week. I'm gonna do that. But just try that for at least
try
6
different
months.
styles also, maybe ashtanga is for you
Exactly.
or maybe vinyasa is for you or
Exactly. There
something.
is so much, but it's like you can't just judge it by just seeing one
Yeah,
thing
try
without even
different
trying it.
teachers, different practices.
And that's
Yes.
what I've like for me, like my practice is intuitional. Like is there a word intuitional? I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I mean
yeah, maybe.
you are intuitional.
Yeah, exactly. So when I wake up in the morning and like that's what I'm doing with my flows. Like I just whatever comes to me on the mat is because that day my body is feeling that. Some days I'm feeling high energy, some days I'm feeling something mellow, some days I'm feeling something creative. And yoga really allows you to express that. So it's like once, but till the time you've not tried, I've tried Ashtanga, I've tried whatever mellow, and now it's a mix of everything. And I've tried dancing, I've tried
Yeah.
music. It's a mix of everything because that is me. And in the morning when I see, okay, what am I feeling today? I'm feeling, and
Nice.
again, it also depends, like the full moon energy, the new moon energy. You feel different, like just like the phases of the moon. And I think like it's just important to yeah, like
I
like
know,
allow
yes.
yourself to
Allow
feel
yourself to feel.
that, to
I
listen
love
to
this
that.
rapid fire
Yeah, rapid fire round.
Rapid
Yeah, I think it's never going to be a rapid fire round with me,
yeah.
but I'll try
Because
for the next
honestly,
one.
Santosha, we could
Oh,
talk forever.
oh, shit.
We could talk forever. I love it. It's the most honest expressions, like what we actually think and feel about this,
Yeah,
right? We
right?
can't really
Yeah.
stop the
We
flow.
need to
We're
have like
flowing.
5 episodes now or
Yeah.
something, like monthly one episode.
Yeah, we can
because
definitely split this
we can
into
just
many
go on. And I think
episodes.
one episode should be like, I'm asking you questions. Because
Oh,
I
next
want to like,
time.
yeah,
Okay.
like, I'm also interested to know about like, yeah, like your journey. Wow. And
Yes.
I've also been someone like, I don't read a lot of books. So I'm someone who loves to like even travel. It's just been like meeting
Yeah.
people and their experiences has been like my storybooks, you know.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay, continue.
No,
Are you
no,
like
no,
done
no,
with
no,
the
no. I
rapid?
think no, I prefer this now. At first, I thought I'm going to ask you many different questions, but I'm
Yeah.
like, this is actually going so well because you're giving all these beautiful insights, and I think people would find it, I hope, motivational, inspirational. So maybe just give me your final words if someone wants to transform their body.
Right.
Like they want to look a certain way, you know, they want to be more like you know, you're very fit, you are energetic, right? And they don't know where to start,
Yeah.
right? So where should they start?
Yeah. Yeah, of course, I feel like you don't have to be like me. But yeah, of course, it's all about like just if like it's all about having like that feeling of being the best version of yourself. And the inspiration starts with yeah, looking at those like taking something from the people who inspire you. You're not just like following people just like that, you know. You're following people like even on social media, for example. I also follow a lot of people, but there's something that I want to take. So start even from these things, even from your friends, having that circle. Start being or start putting yourself in those circles. That is your vision board. It's not about yeah, or like travel did that to me, you know. So it's like yeah, going to a random yoga class, like you don't know anyone over there, but you've just like, but you've never tried yoga, but you've gone. It all starts from there because there's something. Every yoga class will give you some agni, that's like a fire that's, you know, starting to like you know, burn, and it's like getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So you have to put oil in that fire. So like to do that, I feel like one is try different practices, try different things, you know, like just don't really start researching, but like whatever is available around you. I feel like there is just so much, you know. I also found like my first trainer, Amit, and we just met at an event, and he was like, he always yeah admired me as a fashion, you know, blogger and all these things. And he's like, why do, because I think like as a trainer also he could really see how I could, you know, as teachers I think even I can see, like when I see students and when I have like, I just know okay, this person is really gonna kill it over here, you know, but they just don't know how to do it. But it's like that little guidance. So he's also helped me so much. His name is Amit, and yeah, like that functional training really allowed me to gain strength for my Ashtanga practice. So I was doing both Ashtanga and
Ashtanga,
functional
yes.
at the same time when I started off. And while I was doing that, so again, I'm just sharing my journey. Probably there's something that, you know, like will direct you in terms of how to, yeah. So, but that's the thing. Like for me, it was just the dedication, showing up. Like sometimes my teachers didn't show up, but I was showing up. I'm like, I'm not missing out on a day, you know? So it's like when you are ready to receive, just receive it with an open heart. Just surrender and just be like, whatever is going to come, I'm just going to do it. Till the time like you start feeling, okay, now I know, like my body knows. My body has already built that awareness to move. It has started to move without me thinking about it. It has started, because even in Ashtanga, it's like you have to think about your breath, you have to think about the movement, you have to think about your drishti point. It's like too much. And then all the locks. And then you're like starting, it was damn difficult. It was like, how
So
am I-
it is difficult even for Santoshi, whose mother is a yoga teacher.
Yeah.
Okay, she's been around this since like forever, you know,
I was
and you've
not
been
even flexible.
into dancing and stuff like that. So it takes that effort, it takes that dedication.
Yes, like there is nothing without effort. And when you put that effort, like automatically you start seeing like how your life changes. And I think like with some consistency, what you really discover is like the knowing of like what you want to keep and what you want to take out, even in your practice. Like even for me, like when I was doing Ashtra, I just understood that I already had a lot of masculine energy in me. And I think like doing functional training was activating more of that. So and yoga was helping me having more of, you know, the feminine energy. So that is something that I feel like for myself, because there was something which was very natural for me, which was the masculine energy. So that's the reason why I completely shifted to yoga. And at the same time, yeah, like Ashtanga is not a practice which is like, I always felt that was more challenging than functional training, you know. So I think that challenge also made me more attracted to a yoga practice. And then I transitioned into like vinyasa practice. So I feel like even like in terms of practices, it's not just the physical thing, but it's also it's all energy. And it's all like, it just depends on what work you do in life. If you need that masculine energy to, if you're a boss, for example, you need that, whatever.
Yeah, it's very personal. I also
It's
wanted
so
to add with
personal.
functional training, a lot of women that go for functional training, go to the gym, great, I mean, great practice, great for them. But honestly, I feel that sometimes, like whoever I've met, and they would complain that I've been doing this like for years, let's say, but my weight is just not going. Even though my diet is good, I'm watching my calories and I'm regular with my functional training and the gym, but it's just like I still feel like I'm bloated and that I still have
Correct.
that weight. And a lot of times what happens is that I think training for women versus training for men
It's
is
two
very
different
different.
things. Our bodies
Even
are
with
so
our
different.
hormones, especially if you suffer from PCOD or PCOS, it just adds that cortisol. And when you're filled with cortisol, it's very difficult to lose weight. And
Yeah.
I feel more
Correct.
grounded practices like yoga or even Pilates or just like, something that is
Yeah.
softer and
I think
more in
strength
tune
and
with your
stretch
body. And you
both are
can still
needed.
get the strength training within the yoga, like Ashtanga, let's say,
Yeah.
even Pilates. You can still
Yes.
get it,
Yeah.
but you get it in a softer way without getting that cortisol spike. That's
Correct.
something to keep in mind if you've been facing these issues, like with functional training or gym, and you're not able to lose weight or look a certain way that you
Progress.
want to.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to look at that.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. I think like with my practice, I've realized like strength and stretch both are needed. Like it's not about like being uh, on extreme ends, I think like that's the balance. And that's the beauty about like power and grace, the masculine and feminine, Too much of anything is not good and too less of anything is also not good. And I think like yoga for me, it's always like working with the opposites, working with, when I am in one, for example, if I'm in a downward facing dog, I'm not just chilling in a downward dog, I'm using a lot of strength.
Active. It's
Yeah, it
great.
is
Will anybody actually
active.
try to do it correctly? Not
Yeah,
just like any way. It's an active
yeah,
strength and stretch at the same
stretch.
time.
It's that fight between the pull and the push. So I'm always fighting, like fighting in a way
In
that
a
I'm
good
playing
way,
with,
yeah.
the like it's equal force, but it's like opposite actions, so like pull and push, they both are doing different actions, but they both are doing, like for example, it's like as easy to explain that if we are, what do you call this, panja, we call it in Hindi, like
Panja, yeah,
it's it is a panja that is going on when I'm in a downward dog. So when you do that, automatically your strength, you're using your strength and the stretch is also happening. So yeah, that whole magnetization. And of course, that is one thing that you can, it's, for me, like my practice has changed so much that even if I'm sitting, if now I start getting active, I'm doing strength training, like that is yoga for me, like all the internal things, the locks and everything that you're using. So even if you're doing the functional thing, again, like it's not about how many reps you do, but that one rep you do, with how much awareness you do that one rep
Yes.
is what matters. So yeah, I think like whatever activity you choose, just be fully present with it. Yeah, don't just do it because you have to finish something. Even if you do
And
less,
believe how transformative it can be. I just want more
exactly.
people to have this awareness. It's not just Zen, okay? It's not just
Yeah,
Shavasana. There is more to that. And if you
yeah,
do it correctly, it could bring a huge transformation.
yeah.
Like in my case, I started doing yoga after my first pregnancy. So I've gained a lot of weight. By the way, I was like 25 kgs heavier. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I've started doing yoga, and not only that, it helped me to lose weight. I've become more flexible. It helped me to rebuild my core
Yeah,
because
the
what happens
strength.
during the pregnancy, your muscles really stretch, and then it's tough to actually put it together in a way. Somebody who's been through this, somebody who went through
Exactly.
pregnancy,
I
they would
don't
understand
know,
what
but
I'm
I'm just
talking
so
about.
curious to, yeah.
Yeah, so and yoga really helped me to do that. Not only to
Wow.
get back in shape, to feel more attuned with my body, to
Body.
recover postpartum. Like
Correct.
there is so much to it,
Correct.
So yeah,
Yeah, I feel like that fluidity is also needed to connect with your bodies, and I think like I don't know, like I don't know about like I feel like even a boy, a male has both the masculine and the feminine. We all have both energies within us. So I feel more than anything, I think all these practices are just allowing you to connect with your body. So it's like when you don't feel yourself, whenever you have a phase when you're not feeling yourself, is when you're not feeling connected to your body. So I think, yeah, just doing things with an intention just changes the whole practice, instead of just doing it to lose weight or doing it for just like,
Finally meet
yeah,
yourself, you know, you got to finally meet,
exactly.
you're not in the race to become somebody else, you know, you're finally meeting yourself. So I feel like
True.
yoga is obviously a
I'll
journey
just
to
like
self through self, right?
self.
So
Correct. Yeah. I'll share just like an experience of me, like when I was younger. So I've always been like a little healthy, as a person, but I was always, a dancer. I was always into sports and, all these things. So I had a chunky monkey face or whatever. Yeah, I look like a cute little chunky monkey. And but in my body, I was always very conscious about my arms when I was younger, when I was little in school and all of that. So I would feel like a little conscious to wear like sleeveless and all. But then, of course, like when I started getting into fashion and all, everything, like I was like, I can't be conscious about it. I have to wear everything. So that's when I started like my whole thing of just looking at myself and accepting myself for who I am, but just working on myself started. And you won't believe, Nelia, like my strongest point today are my arms. Like I didn't
I can
know,
see.
like my
Yeah.
arms, which I was so conscious about, it's my strength.
Beautiful.
So I feel like
Yeah.
when there is something, I'm just talking from experiences, but I do feel like at any point in your life when you feel that this is your weakest point, actually that is the, what do you
Now
say,
I know why I've met you, you know, because
yeah.
I literally have experienced the exact same thing, not with my hands, but with my face. I used to be just so like conscious about my face, specifically my eyes, you know. Like I
Eyes!
swear,
Oh
yeah,
my
I
God,
like I
that's
grew up in
crazy.
Russia and like I felt very conscious about it because a lot of kids were like, you know,
Huh.
either bullying me about this, you know, like I
Oh my
always felt that I looked
God.
too different from the rest, you know. So I was very conscious. But now, I mean,
Oh my God, you're
as
so
whatever.
beautiful and your eyes. Yeah, that's crazy,
But
right? I
now
mean,
I
one
see
is
my face, specifically my eyes, as my strongest feature.
feature.
And like, wow, what a
Exactly.
connect.
Of course, it like the tables are like, I would like just like to say that just accept it and just see how the magic unfolds. I feel like life has to give you like life has to make you feel like that, only to for you to experience your strengths. If the weakness is not there, how are you going to work on your strengths? Why will you work on anything if there is no
Yes.
weakness? So I feel, yeah, that's the beauty. Like if you have a weakness, just take that as that opportunity to transform into,
What
yeah.
a punchline. I think, yeah.
Woo!
Sandosh, I mean, we could talk forever. I swear. I think
I
everybody, we
know.
could talk forever.
Yeah, I'm sure
But
like she's
what
also
a
like now done.
insightful conversation. I mean, besides the insightful, I feel it's
Oh my
also
God,
very
just thank you
it's
for having.
inspirational. And I loved having you here. And I loved talking to you and learning so much about you.
Thank you so much. I just enjoyed this. And that's the thing. I think it's all about, sharing
Sharing.
and just like, I feel like, yeah, like this is the storybook. And that's what I said, that I'm also very excited to ask you questions next time and get to know. Of
Yes,
course,
we're
today
going to doing
also,
it
I
next
think like
time.
I
Yeah,
got to know you a
yeah, yeah.
little
We did have a
more
conversation.
deeper.
Yes.
And I'm so glad that I could do this. And more than anything, I feel like we also connected. And,
Yeah.
and thanks to the practice and life and the creative energy and the Shakti. And
Yeah,
yeah, thank you for
beautiful,
having me
beautiful,
today.
Sandoshi.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Love
much.
you.
Love you too. Thank you so much for watching this. If you watched till now, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
that's crazy.
Thank you so
Keeping
much
up
for
with us.
watching. Yes, like, share, subscribe, and let us know what you think in the comments. Maybe you have an experience, or maybe you have some questions that you would like to ask. We would love to hear from you. Thank you.